Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Discontinued Quest. Yeah, right where we left off with all the love and stuff. So, we are currently... Oh, wait a second, I don't have sound on, definitely. Ought to fix that, I think. Yeah, much better. So, we are in Infdev 2010-06-18, and we're not actually going to be getting anything discontinued in this version. We're only going to be here for a couple of minutes anyway. But there's just something I wanted to show off about something that got added in this version that I think is a bit cool. We're gonna need to get some iron from home and then craft 2 things. Wait a minute. Nope. It occurred to me there might be an option to change the FOV, but not yet. Can't wait for that to happen. Okay, get 11 iron, and then look at that. It's a... Who even knows what this shape is supposed to be? But I'm sure you recognize the crafting recipe shape. And then, of course, some rails. Also how to put these away. Not gonna need those for anything right now. And then, where should I put this? I'll just put it, like, over. I'll put it right here, I guess. A minecart. Just looks like a normal minecart, right? Well, when I click on it, it's a chest. And now that I put something in it, you can see that it becomes more full. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, of course you can't ride in it or anything yet. That's not... For this update only, minecarts act as storage containers. Basically just movable chests. And yeah. And I'm not going to demonstrate this completely, because there's no shift clicking, so it takes a lot of dragging stacks back and forth, but the more you fill it, the more the dirt level will be raised. Yeah. I'm looking at this, like this single row of pixels. You can see it raise a tiny bit, but it's barely noticeable. Oh, well, now I took everything out, but yeah. And I'll sacrifice a bit of cobblestone to see if that survives the update, but yeah. In original minecarts. And I'd say I missed this, but I mean, just minecarts are a thing. They basically returned eventually. It's a special kind and not regular minecarts. Okay. Oh, look at that. Huh. Now I can ride in it, but there's an invisible, well, not invisible, but some kind of ghost chest in here. Fake chest. Genuinely very interesting. And it can move and stuff. Very strange. Ooh, okay. So we're now in Infdev 2010-06-25. The second one. There were actually 2 versions released on this day, but this is the second one, which actually added things. And it's actually the second Secret Friday update. In fact, the one with the minecarts was the first. And yeah, this episode, we're going to try to get two things. First is, actually, might as well start on the way while I describe it. The first thing we're looking for, our primary objective, is a monolith. Technically, it's a kind of a biome, which is weird, but it's where the terrain generation just goes crazy. And instead of, generating terrain like normal, it just shoots all the way up to the build limit. You have entire chunks just at Y128, basically just raised off the ground, including the bedrock. And yeah, the catches, they're not technically discontinued. It's not you. If you're just incredibly devoted, you could make your own monolith. You could destroy an entire chunk, including the bedrock. Eventually, not in this version, but eventually. And then you could just rebuild a chunk, including the bedrock, again. You could just rebuild that yourself, and you wouldn't be able to tell it was fake. But of course, that, for one thing, who would do that? And yeah, so it's not technically a discontinued thing, but it is an oddity I would like to generate and show off. Just because I think it's cool, and hopefully you do too. For the record, I do know where I'm going. I figured it out using an ancient pioneer trick, which is not using an NVT editor to check my coordinates, and also to figure out which way to go, and using a seed finder to find the nearest monolith. That is not what I did. And these sheep are reminding me of something else I actually ought to do. At least I really hope it still works. Yeah, some nice cloth armor. Can this even be equipped yet? Yeah, cool. Ooh, very nice. Yeah. Until leather and cows are introduced, you craft, well, it's not even leather armor yet, it's cloth armor made with cloth. Is it called? Maybe they renamed it wool at this point, as you may have noticed, like, if I hover over things, they don't even have official names, so it's hard to really remember it, and especially since people would come up with their own names for things back in the past, a lot of which they still use. And it used to make me very confused when I was young. And yeah, by the way, since I want to keep the amount of chunks I generate in these versions low, last episode when I got sand, I headed in the same direction as the monolith would be. So there's that same beach. And that's what that torch was back there. But of course we're going beyond that, and this is a lot of pigs. This is kind of weird. Look at them. Leather armor still exists. Once we update, there's going to be nothing special whatsoever about this armor. But we'll have the memory of it. We'll remember this was crafted with wool and not leather, and that is a cool thing. Oh hey, flowers. We don't really have any of those at present. I'm sure they'll come in handy at some point. I never said what the second objective was. But first, let's take a moment to appreciate all this nice sand. Thanks to the last episode, I'm still really happy to see sand and its nice little sand noise. So I will do that. First is the monolith. Second, in terms of discontinued things, it's number one, but in terms of this episode, it's not the main thing we're walking towards. Anyway, spawner. This is the version where spawners were introduced, and they're able to just be mined by hand to just get a spawner that you can place. And it's, you can't do that these days. So that's quite discontinued. And even though there's actually going to be 2 ways to get a spawner, and we're going to use both of them in the future, I still want to get one now. Partly because of a special thing with spawners in this version, and also partly just to, just to show it off, because who doesn't want to mine a spawner with their bare hands? And then hold it and place it. So that means we're going to need to find a dungeon, which is going to be a bit difficult. And since there's this convenient bit of gravel beach, I'm going to try and show that off. You may remember we did some x-raying at some point, and oh my god, isn't this kind of nice actually, a gravel beach and stuff? But you can still kind of, suffocation is a thing, but you can kind of still x-ray if you, it's quite finicky, but there. We can see below us quite well in certain spots, but due to this just being a tiny area, you can see like this part is not covered with anything, so it's quite hard to see into. I can try and get, nope. But yeah, we're going to need to find a dungeon, and it's going to be quite a hassle. So actually, what I desperately need to do is check our coordinates to make sure we didn't like overshoot the monolith, because I feel like we might have. But first I'm gonna punch all these sheep, because I don't like them. That's a lie. What? I think it's what? The game has decided to put the... What? I have no idea what that was. What is wrong with this area? I gotta look that up later, because that is weird. I am so confused and concerned. Maybe I should check if there's anything weird under here. Oh my god, there's a dungeon right there. But I don't know if we can even get to it, because the world is being broken. Oh my god. Okay. I have to be honest. I already made this episode. I went to the Monolith, and I tried to find a dungeon, and it was just so difficult and so stressful, and I was not enjoying it, that I decided to use X-Ray, and I hated myself so much for it. So much that, well, here I am, re-recording this episode, because I could not live with myself. And I spent literally over an hour just like in a big X-ray area. I should probably clarify. I made an X-ray texture pack by hand to make all the stone and stuff invisible, so I could just look through the ground. Like this X-ray is just a glitch. I'm talking like the serious kind. And yeah. I spent over an hour just... And I know because it was night, and then it was day, and then it was night again. Okay, that actually means it was only half an hour, but... Still, I spent so long just staring back and forth across the ground, looking into the distance in every direction, to find a single rectangular shape. And then I found this giant cave, and then I figured a cave this big, there's like no way there isn't a dungeon in here, and I spent actually over an hour just in this one single cave exploring, and I couldn't find a single dungeon, so I caved in a different sense and decided to X-ray, and then I got a dungeon, and then a second dungeon. But I felt so bad about it, and it felt like it violated the spirit of the series, so I decided to re-record this to have a fresh start, which is what this is. I guess maybe this is like payoff for all my work before. Just like the game has mercy on me and gives me a dungeon like right when I happen to look for it. And I wasn't even looking for it, but yeah. Long story short, I X-rayed, felt bad, restarted, and now there's a second dungeon here. Possibly in unenterable chunks. I just don't get it. And I'm stuck. And I'm going to I'm going to check my coordinates, because I was going to do that anyway. Thanks to those, we only found this thanks to those sheep. That's really lucky, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to restart the game, check my coordinates. Hopefully this area will work properly. And yeah, we're roughly at the, well, I'm not really sure which direction is which, but we're at roughly one of the coordinates of the monolith, and we need to go in this direction. And what is wrong with this? It's just this one chunk? What? I don't get it. I'm sure no one wants to see this. It's going to be become a bit grindy, so I'm just going to cut to when I find the spot directly above it, and it'll be magical. What the? I don't... What did I do? I don't... This is literally just like 2 seconds after I just said I'd cut, but I'm pretty sure I just placed a single block and it just duplicated itself. I had 4 gravel, right? And I didn't... and now that sheep is in this area. This area is so cursed. I am legitimately afraid for my Minecraft life trying to get this dungeon now. Look at this. This one sheep is moving so slowly, and the other one is moving perfectly fine. Yeah, you can see where I already dug, and you can see the dungeon, but it's so hard to actually tell where they are relative to... You know what? I'm gonna dig it down here. Might be worth it to continue mining in this direction. And I overshot it a bit, but I think if I go like right here, I can make it there directly. Let's see how this goes. I think if I keep mining in this direction, I'll end up in that cave. Maybe not directly over the dungeon, but pretty close. This is so much more rewarding than using an X-ray. Oh my god, it's literally right there. Yes! We have found a dungeon using not technically legitimate means, but, you know, because glitching into a block isn't an intended game mechanic, but it is a glitch that was in the game. No editing the files or using any kind of mods or texture packs, and oh nice, a saddle. Not that that's going to be truly useful until 1.6, but... And extra buckets, can always use those. You ready, guys? Here goes nothing. Boom. One mob spawner. Oh, that's so... It's kind of strange to see in hand, but... Can you believe I only found that by happening to x-ray on that one block? It does not feel like that is physically possible, but I'm so glad it did. And I'm also gonna explore this cave real quick, because there might be some gold in here, and I kind of forgot to mention it, being caught up in explaining lots of other things, but that was kind of scary. Anyway, yeah, we're going to need a couple of pieces of gold for something not probably next episode that I'm gonna do. And this seemed like as good a time as any to try and get it. Well, would you look at that, huh? Not even what I'm looking for, but first diamonds of the world. 1, 2. Huh? Where'd that second diamond? Did mining it with a tool that broke not drop the diamond? I've got to test that real quick, if that's a thing, because that... Oh my god, it doesn't! Oh my god. That was the most tragic thing I have ever seen in my entire life in playing Minecraft. But at least it literally gave me, like... I didn't have time to react because it didn't drop the diamond, but there's that gold we're looking for, right in contact with some diamonds. My luck is kind of unbelievable this episode. And I mean, like, I literally restarted the last episode because I cheated, and I'm not cheating now, and suddenly I'm getting incredibly lucky, and it feels like it might look suspicious, but it's just like, feels like nice karma of some type. Okay, I'm gonna let this smelt and then mine that gold, and then we can just leave this area and go to the Monolith triumphant with a single diamond. What am I even gonna do with it? Hopefully there's a second piece of gold. And the third, so okay, maybe... It's another diamond! And the game... Can you believe these diamonds and gold just generated right next to each other? That's so convenient. The game decided to make it up to me. And now we can make a diamond pickaxe, I guess. And I don't have any particular... Oh, might as well get another lit furnace too, huh? So funny that you can just do that. But anyway, yeah. Forgot what I was saying because I'm too oh yeah. I don't even have any particular need for diamond. Now that we have 3, I can totally make a diamond pickaxe if I decide I need some obsidian, but other than that, it's like not actually a huge priority for me. I'm gonna get some mossy cobblestone because that is a hard to get thing at this point. These spots are now holy because this is just because of this nice little bit of stuff. I happened to choose this block to x-ray, and I just happened to find that dungeon, and it's great. 2 more pieces of cloth armor. It's weird how it's like, you know, leather colored, even though the cloth itself is white. But, time to go to the Monolith, and I will probably cut a decent bit. Hopefully, I don't run into any more glitchy areas, because that did not happen the first time around. Yes, this has to be the area. Unless it's a different stone beach. Also, yeah, a stone beach, like, what is up with that? Oh god. Oh no. Oh, there it is. It appears there's some... I'm feeling my heart is racing a bit because, as you can see, there's stuff here, and that's from when I went here before. So, when I'd forgotten to make a backup from the end of last episode, so I kinda just... And I had to, like, use the restore to a previous version button, and oh god, it didn't work properly. Like, I was still restored. Looks like level.dat was restored because my inventory is different, but, like, the chunks are still loaded. So, sorry, this isn't my first time seeing this, and I'm very distressed about this whole thing, but yeah. There goes the terrain all the way up there. So those dungeons that were generated here are probably still, like, have their spawners missing from when I took them, but the spawners were not in my inventory whatsoever. To be clear, I wasn't trying to keep it a secret that I restored the files. I just thought that it didn't come up and it would be boring, so... But I also don't see the spot where that other dungeon was. Maybe I should x-ray a bit more and try and find the area that I absolutely ravaged. Oh god, this is the catch. This is the catch about finding that dungeon and finding that gold and finding these diamonds, is that I have to deal with a slight bit of corruption. But there's not much I can do about it, because there's no other backup, and, I mean, I don't have the X-rayed spawners, so I don't actually reap that reward, and I kinda corrupted my own world, but accidentally corrupting something is not really cheating, at least in my book, and I don't see why it would be in anyone's book. Oh, yep. There's that entire cave system already explored and stuff. This monolith is cursed. I cannot get a good ending to this episode, can I? But, you know, maybe I'm probably overreacting, because like I said, it's not like I corrupted my files on purpose. It's kind of something that just happened due to my own incompetence and not any cheating, and I get no actual benefit from it. So I think I should probably feel better about this. You may have noticed that I didn't, back at home base, I haven't really done a lot of making infrastructure. I just build things and then occasional displays for things and then just my house, and that's it. I'm kind of waiting until later versions where I can get tools that are better and last longer. I'm honestly just overall looking forward to the release versions, but there's a lot of stuff in some of these old versions. We're gonna be in... This is actually the last episode in Infdev, but we're gonna be in alpha for 2 versions probably, and... Here we are. Oh, sun's going down, so I probably ought to do the intro now, but anyway, yeah. I'm probably going to do some streaming of improving the home area before the beginning of the next episode. So you should, like, follow me on Twitter or join my Discord to find out when I do that. yes, we can watch the sun slowly set and the moon slowly rise from the build limit. Yep, I cannot place a single block. So, yeah, this was an interesting episode. Got very lucky, got very unlucky at the end here, but can't be helped. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how it went, honestly. I'm going to need to duplicate this spawner, and I need to figure out a way to do that before we upgrade, but yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great night or day. See what I did there? Yeah. Thank you, and goodbye. I guess post-editing voice notes are a thing now, huh? I had to cut a lot of things I hadn't planned on to keep the length of this video reasonable, and it still ended up longer than 30 minutes somehow. I think it came out fine, but you did miss out on the pain of digging down and block elevatoring up while trapped in that glitchy area. Anyway, do you think I should add music, or would that be weird? And also, I really want to know your thoughts on how I already managed to break the world, so please comment about that.